Basketball is a big deal in the Miller family. Any one of them could have played college basketball, and a fair number of them did. Brock Miller's older brothers played for Harvard and the University of Utah, and even his dad played for BYU Hawaii back in the day. And Brock is carrying on that tradition of college basketball, playing for the Utah State Aggies with his signature look on the court.
First bucket of the game. Miller looking for another three.
Ever since I was young, I started playing ball, and when I reached the age of 12 years old, I started noticing I got patches in my head. I started losing hair, and we had no idea what was going on. It was kind of weird, and I feel like luckily, I guess, enough. I was so young, I didn't really know what to really think about it. And then we went to the doctor and we found out that I have alopecia. After a year or so, eventually I lost all of my hair everywhere in my body, and it just developed.
Like Brock said, he may not have thought too much about losing his hair at that young of an age, but some of his peers did notice. Some of them bullied him for it. But Brock said those experiences growing up helped shape him into the person that he is today.
I think the hardest part about it in my story was my middle school years, going through it and being bullied that way. That wasn't very easy for me, but at the same time, I kind of reached a point where I was able to kind of overcome that, and it really shaped me into a better person. And I kind of look at it as a blessing, because I was able to overcome that, and it made me a more humble, looking outside of myself type of person, a human being, just because of the hardship that I went through. And so I've always had a special place in my heart for those kids that have been bullied, and whether they have alopecia or not, kids that feel like they're alone. Because I've felt that before. It's happened in my life, but it shaped me into the person that I am today. And I've been able to, let that fuel me in the right way and channel it the right way. And
that outlet and that drive led him to become one of the most talented basketball players in the state of Utah. And now he's playing at a Division I school. And all that publicity, Brock says, has led him and allowed him to reach out to more people and share his story. With his signature look on the court and his signature look off the court, being a tall, bald guy, he kind of stands out sometimes, and people take notice.
And it also, my story too, being in the state of Utah, there wasn't any other high school basketball player that had alopecia. So I stood out already. I mean, people may not have known my name, but they knew that there was a bald basketball player that played at Brighton High School, which is kind of cool because, you stand out from everybody, and it gives you an opportunity to be an example to others.
That sort of example is exactly what Brock is to so many of these kids, because for many of them, he's the first person they've ever met that looks the same way that they do and understands all of the things that they're going through. And Brock says through that example and through those contacts that he's been able to have, he's able to share with them that even though they may look different than some of their peers, and even though they might not have any hair, it doesn't matter, because they can do anything that they set their minds to.
I've had multiple people reach out to me through Instagram, Facebook, about their kids that have it, or people that they know that their kids or their friends have it. And I've been able to have a couple of kids up to some basketball games and spend a day with them. I've gone to lunch. I actually went to lunch recently with a 15-year-old a couple of days ago that I just, again, one of his parents' friends is an Aggie fan, and he reached out to me, and that's how it all got connected. So it's been really cool, having this experience in my life and being able to overcome it, to be able to be at least a hope or somebody to look up to for these young kids that are going through it right now. And it's tough right now at this day and age with the bullying and social media and the internet. I mean, just how it's expanding. So I'm very grateful that I have that opportunity, at least to be an influence to a couple people, even if it's just one or two. I think it almost helps me more than them, honestly. It makes me feel so good to be able just to help, because I know what it feels like, and it helps me because then you're able to relate with somebody that hasn't been able to relate with somebody that's gone through a similar situation, perhaps their whole life. I mean, this kid that I went to lunch with hasn't met somebody that has had the same type of alopecia as him, the whole body without any hair. And, it's been tough, and it's just good to be able to relate with these kids. And I think it definitely helps them too, because they're like, okay, look at this kid. He's been able to accomplish this, that, and the other, even with alopecia, and he's confident and he's happy. And I think it gives him a little spark of hope and a sense of, that they're worth something, and they're wanted, and that they're important, and no matter if you have hair or don't have hair. I mean, you're a human being, and, you're loved by a lot of people. So it's cool to be able to help give kids a broader perspective and hope that they can be happy and they can accept it and rock the hairdo.
Brock just graduated with his bachelor's degree in business administration and is now currently working on his MBA up there at Utah State, where he is still going to be playing basketball for the Aggies. Now, there is still so much more to the story that we didn't have time to get into in this video here today, but fear not, we've got all of the information and the rest of the story over on our website at kslnewsradio.com. Big thanks to Brock Miller, who took some time out of his busy schedule to come and hang out and chat with us. It just about does it for me this week. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you right back here next week. For KSL News Radio's Heart of Utah, I'm Colby Walker.